Hi everybody, welcome to our 6th week of remote learning. I believe we have 2 more weeks to go after this one. I believe I have to have my grades in for you on the 29th of May, which means we have exactly 3 weeks to the end of this marking period. Those of you who are with me, you guys are doing a fantastic job. Your research papers are looking really great. I have about half of them graded at this point. I'll get the other half of them graded as this week goes forward. I'm not sure if you can see your grades in Canvas or not, but I have been making comments on your research papers, and then the grade is at the bottom of the research paper, so you can kind of look for your grade there if you can't find it in Canvas. But as I said, research papers are finally behind us, and you guys did a great job. Really good job. I thought I'd share with you before we get into what's going on, what I've been doing with my time. Boredom is setting in big time. I'm cleaning my closets out. I'm reading books. I'm obviously reading research papers. But yesterday, my daughter and I started watercolor painting. That was my boo-boo. This was my first attempt after the boo-boo. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm not an artist, but I think it's pretty good. So that was yesterday afternoon. This was yesterday evening. Kind of got bored again and just sat down and started playing with the watercolors. Actually, I think I'm having more fun with it than Carly is. Carly's just like you. She's doing her online work, talking to her friends. Can't really get her off her phone too much. That's been a little bit of a trial. But anyways, so let's take a look at Canvas. What I'm going to have you doing, and I don't know if you can see this, and I'm afraid, okay, so up here is where we finished the research paper. So I started another module down here called Romeo and Juliet. That's what we're going to be doing for the remainder of the school year. Trying to get to it for you. Oh my. Okay, give me a second here. I'll have what I want. Okay, so like I said, it's a new module. It's at the bottom of the Canvas page. There we go. And up here at the top, it says Remote Learning, The Tragedy of Romeo and Juliet. It's going to take us about 3 weeks to do this. It would normally take us a lot longer than 3 weeks, but I just want to make sure that you have a feeling for it before we call the year over. So here are the directions for the week. Rather than giving you a calendar, I think I'm just going to stick with directions. I think it's a little easier to see what's what and when things are due by using the directions and actually using a calendar. Right underneath that is a Romeo and Juliet PowerPoint that I'd like you to take a look at. Gives you some background information, kind of tells you who's on whose team. You know, there's Team Romeo and then there's Team Juliet. Romeo is a Montague and Juliet is a Capulet. And then we have Princess Scalus, who is the governing body. And then on Team Romeo, there's a guy by the name of Mercutio, and he's cousin, I think, to Princess Scalus. Princess Scalus doesn't really have any ties to either one of the families, and he definitely wants to see this feud between the two families come to an end. And then there's Mercutio, who is his cousin, who is on Team Romeo, and he is kind of like the comic relief to the story. You'll enjoy some of his antics as you read the novel and as you watch the movie. Okay, so moving on down. Where's my cursor? Okay, so the novel you guys are going to be reading out of is called Romeo and Juliet Made Easy. And it's up to you which you want to read. One page will have the text written in Old English. The next page will take that same text of Old English and it'll have it in a more modernized language, something that's maybe a little easier to read. And then the next page will be Old English again, and then the following page will be modernized English. So you can choose which one you want to read. It's up to you. And then right below that is a video. I did it again. There's going to be a video there's a Romeo and Juliet movie on YouTube. It's dated 1982, so it's not the best movie, but it is the easiest movie to read the actual text, the Old English, and watch the movie at the same time. It's up to you. You read whichever text you want to do, read it and watch the movie, that's fine. Or read the old text as you're watching the movie. That way you get a feel for the language, but you can also see and you can tell what's going on by watching the movie. That's the step I would take, but it's up to you which step you want to go. And then the assignment for the week will have you reading the first 2 acts of Romeo and Juliet. They go pretty quickly, especially if you're watching the movie and having it read to you as you're watching it. It'll go very, very fast. And then the assignment I'll have you do is right here. It's Romeo and Juliet Act 1 discussion questions. There's 17 of them. And then there's a Romeo and Juliet Act 2 discussion questions, and there's 12 of those. And I'm going to ask you to have them do for me by the end of the week, by I think 11:59 on Friday. So I'd like to have you have those 2 done. Now you might notice here there's a summary of Act 1, and underneath this, I'm not going to move it on down, but underneath this one, there's a summary for Act 2. Now, if I were you, I'd watch it. It's a YouTube link. The teacher does a great job at summing up what's going on in the acts, and she does a little bit of side, like it's funny, and you'll enjoy it. Like I said, it takes about 8 to 10 minutes to watch each one, but you'll come out of it with a really solid understanding of what was going on in Act 1 and Act 2, and you'll be entertained at the same time. So anyways, that's the assignment for the week. I hope you are having a good time with your remote learning. I hope it's not too much for you. If you want to drop me a line just to say hi in my email, that would be great. If you want to show me what you've been doing to keep yourself entertained, that would be kind of fun too. I'd love to see it. So anyways, have a great week. Make sure you're staying healthy, you're drinking lots of water, getting plenty of exercise, which I know is hard to do right now. Washing your hands and taking care. All right, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.